Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your card reading for August 2021. I'm Ulrich, I'm a Lenormand card reader, and on the table here you see 9 cards. These are the cards we will be using for the reading, and you can see also 4 objects here on the table, meaning we will do 4 card readings for each astrological sign for the sign of Cancer this month. So you can find all 4 videos on my channel for August 2021 for the sign of Cancer. Now, from these 4 objects you see here, you choose or you pick one that you think relates best to your personality or you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice will relate then best to your current situation or the laying of the cards involved in your personality. Of course, you can watch all 4 videos of the Cancer sign, and after you watched all 4 videos, you can then decide what symbol or what object is fitting your personal card reading the best. The matches here represent the fire group or the fire element. The stone represents the earth element. The aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell here represents the water element. So Cancer, here we go for your card laying for August 2021. Hello Cancer, and welcome to your card laying for August 2021. This time we will do the air group or the aerosol group. So as the first card here, we see the child. The child is new beginnings, that we are innocent in some fields where we need to go in, that we are inexperienced. That is the start out. And the last card here, this card can go 2 ways, or it's the beginning or something, or it's the end of something. But we will say later in the laying where we going with this. And I'm assuming here, because this is the central card, this is the ring, there's a contract involved or there's a relationship involved. But we will see where this is leading us. So as said here, we see the child here, and here we see the fox. The fox is mostly related to people, to our work, to our workplace, or to our own work. So maybe you're planning to starting a new job, maybe you're innocent in your job, maybe you're new in your job, so that is possible here. The fox is always a little bit tricky, but mostly it points to a new employee, what can be the case here, but it also means if you're new, you need to be careful. This is a very wanted card if you have no job. This is a good card, especially if this card is next to it, because if you're looking for a job, the answer with this card is yes, because the key opens all doors. So if you're looking for a job, the answer for the job will be yes, because also you see here the contract is in the middle, so it's possible you get a contract. Now we will go in more to details because there are several points of view here, so I will give you several angles because we do a general laying. In some cases also, if you have a child, it's possible that you need to adjust to a child. In some cases also, it could mean that you have that you are planning to adopt a child, and this could mean also to an adoption. So if you are planning to have an adoption here with the child, the answer would be yes, and this is the agreement that you would make with the public office for that agreement. So I think there is some things here that need to be solved here, but I think here in the end it will be positive if you go the right steps. So we need to be a little bit careful here because the snake is a tricky card, and we will see further in the laying where this is bringing us. Then we have the fox and the key. As I said here, the key is opening possibilities. I want to come back here to the first 2 cards here. If you have a child also, it means probably that your child is quite smart. You have a quite smart child. If you're involved in a divorce, it's possible also that you're involved in custody battles. This is what it says here, but there will come a solution, as I said earlier. This is what I wanted to add here also. we also always need to be careful if the fox is involved in relationship, because it means there's a tricky thing going on. And especially also because the snake is here, because the snake means there are three parties involved, because the snake always means triangle relationships in whatever that means. So it means there is more than two parties involved in the whole situation. Here, this could also mean that there's a conflict here, a conflict that needs to be resolved. It need to be, also it points to that you need to be careful, or somebody around you need to be careful not to make missteps. Maybe you are checked out. Maybe the custody battle is going on, if that is the case, or the contract is hanging on, and you need to beware of yourself. Maybe you are checked out, so make sure that you are not followed or you are not checked out, because it could mean this, in this case, that you are followed or you are observed. So this is possible with this combination. Maybe somebody is holding a plan against you, or maybe in the relationship it was reversed. There was something involved, and you are the one that are in the other side, and maybe you need to play it smart now, and you are the one who observing your partner. That is possible also, because it can always go two ways. Maybe you're observing your partner for missteps that have been undergoing, or you check it out if there are no missteps undergoing here in this situation. There's like a kind of plan for checking out if everything goes in the right way. Also, you need to be careful here for duplications, if this is involved your house, because sometimes this combination means that literally that the key is duplicated. So you need to be careful of that, that there is no doubles of your key, that nobody can come in your house. I'm not saying that there is going to be any stealing, but you need to be careful here. There is no duplications of your key, so there can be nothing happening in your house that you don't know of. That is what I'm seeing here also. If you stick to your plan, I think everything would be worked out, because here the snake is a very smart card. So here in the middle, it says you would need to come to a balance with a previous partner. If you're looking for a work, you will need to come to some balance. If you're looking for a work, you will need to play it smart, because here the snake wants to play it smart. And if you play it smart, you will get suddenly the job. Suddenly it will be there. In another case, it could mean that there is a review on the job. That's why you need to play the whole thing very safe. So I cannot see very clear here. It's possible that you are the one who decides to take the contract or not. That is possible here also. Maybe you are in an investigative phase and suddenly decide, yes, I'm going for it, or you review your mind and you don't. It's like you decide over the contract. But I think you're still investigating here how the situation is going on and what are you going to decide, open the door or not. Also, there's some forms here from distrust. Maybe you are a distrustive type and you check out. Maybe you have reasons to do so. Also, this could mean that you work hard, that you are creative in your job. If you have a job, or you are planning to work hard for improvement, because the snake can be very focused on the work. You are a patient person for improving yourself. Also, this combination here in the upper, because we are still there, you need to be careful who you let in your house. I already told you that, because it comes 2 times back here. You're not sure if you want to say yes, because the fox makes us doubt. So you're still in the process of considering if you go for it or not. It's like you are scared maybe for making missteps. That is possible here also. Maybe you're very cautious, because also the snake is very cautious. She's smart, she's cautious, she's watching out, and she wants to make sure that everything is settled out before she takes the next step. She's very careful. Also, mostly the snake has the details. She has observed long enough to make the next step. Then we have the second line here. We have the mountain and the ring. If you're involved in a relationship here, this possibly points to an internet relationship, or it could point to a relationship in abroad. Maybe you're doubting about this relationship if you can actually trust this person. It could be a man, it could be a woman, but it's like there's some kind of distrust. Maybe this distrust is rightfully there because the snake, as I told you earlier, something is fishy here. This might be that one of the two parties is involved in a triangle relationship, especially when both are here. So the fox is here, and the fox operates between dusk and dawn. So that's when he strikes, and the snake waits it out. The snake waits it out, and she turns away from the relationship because the snake turns around. And here then you can see the public garden. So maybe this person is not sure, or you are not sure if you really want this commitment, if you want this contract, this agreement. It can also apply on your work. So you will need to make the connections for yourself, because I need to do a very broad laying here. So I need to envision several angles here. So you need to work out for yourself exactly in what combination you are, because there's many combinations possible here. So I make a general laying. We already saw abroad here the contract, distrust. Even if you make an agreement, you will, or some arrangement, you would still be suspicious here about it. If you're in business, you need to be careful here also for business, because in business, this can be a tricky combination. Because some people in the business, especially if you work in abroad or on the internet, if you make investments in abroad or on the internet, just be careful that these investments are solid, because the snake is sometimes tricky. So be careful here if you make contracts that these contracts are solid. Maybe without your knowledge, there are some people who opposite you or who work against you. That is possible here also. Or maybe you have secret enemies that you don't know about. If this relationship is in abroad, it could be so. Maybe somebody works against you, or there is possible a problem with a contract. There's also some distance, but we already saw that. This could mean a bridge also. Abroad, you have a lot of patience for the contract, but you need to be careful. Maybe you stubbornly push through because there are difficulties here. But as I said, be cautious. Something is standing in your way. The mountain can stand in our way also. You try to find out how to solve the problem. Maybe if somebody is hindering you, you try to solve the problem. You try to go around the mountain. Maybe you try to cooperate with others because you don't trust the situation. So you need to be careful here if you make combinations with these things here. If you're married, so or if you're in a relationship, you can be sure that there's something going on here, especially they're both here. If one is here, you can there's still some doubt, but when they are both here, there's something going on here. It's possible there's betrayal here in the relationship. You need to be careful. People are dishonest towards each other. There's another party involved. Somebody tried to get better from the relationship because the snake is above. So one person is trying to get better from the relationship, from the things that are collectively owned, that both parties own. this is what both own, and one party is trying to get better with this. So you need to be careful with that, because this person is very smart, is very tricky. So you need to be careful here, that you are not the one who has less than the other party, if there's something that needs to be divided or something like that. This could also mean, I'm going to immediately add this, that there is a mistress involved in some cases, but you already understood that what was where I was going. It's possible that one of both parties is involved in a third relationship. Maybe you're not aware of this. If you are, it's okay. So, and this person has a very big influence on the whole situation. This person tries to control the whole relationship. I'm assuming it's a woman who tries to get control here, because the snake is female, but it's not always so. In some cases, it can also be the man, but I'm assuming here it's a woman here who tries to get control over how things are working out. Because sometimes this can also point to a divorce, or the divorce is already there and the custody battle is going on, but this woman here, she tried to get the control over the situation. In many cases, it's if you're not aware how if this is new to you and you are not aware of this and this is new to you, that you can also consider the possibility that your partner is involved in a sexual relationship, because the snake is also a sexual relationship. So it's not only a mental relationship. Here the person is involved in a sexual relationship, because also the key opens the doors. You get my point. The key opens the door to sexuality. So the rest you can make the connection yourself. These people, these two here, there's like a common goal. The one of the two partners that you are involved with and the partner have a common goal against probably the other party. So these two are cooperating against the other party. Maybe it's about custody, maybe it's about common money that or common property. Something is going on there, but the two are working together here. Sometimes also this points to gathering evidence. So maybe you're in a certain situation and one of you both is trying to gather evidence for proof for something. So this is gathering evidence also for reaching the goal. And there's also some smartness here, because the snake is smart. So you need to consider all these possibilities I just gave you here, but you will know what you will understand what I mean here. So here we have the rider, we have the garden and the sit. The rider is all about communication. So that it means some messages will come to you. Maybe some messages, public messages come to you, general messages are coming to you, message from the public. So you will be informed. It's possible here, because the sit is here, that you are informed of a divorce or an ending from something, because in that case, this means that you get public notice from an end. So that is what I'm thinking, I'm seeing here. This is possible here that you get here, that you get an announcement from a contract that is annullated. Maybe it's a marriage contract, maybe something is annullated here, that this is possible here. Also, it's like here, I get the idea there's some forcing and something is forced here. It's like something is tried to be obtained here by force, but it's going in a smart way. So something is trying to get, somebody is trying to get something here by force, by smart force. So this is, it's like there's an intrusion. Something is going on here. It's like there's an intrusion going on in here. And once it's starting the process, it will go very fast. Once the process is on its way, something will go very quick, because the sit is very quick. So once it's starting, once you get the news, the procedure will go very fast. So that is what is going on here. If you get the news, it's also possible that you do something in public, on social networks. Maybe you try to gather more information. And also it could mean that you share something loud in public. That is possible here also. The relationship ends. You're aware. It's also possible when this is over that you take some distance from the whole thing, that you shut yourself a little bit off here. That was what we see here also. Then we come in the second, the vertical line here. We see the child, the mountain, and the rider. This, in the simplest way, there is difficulties here for reaching a child. Maybe the child is not with you. Maybe you want to reach the child, but you're not allowed to. It's possible that the child is in abroad. That is possible also because there's a mount. Or it's possible that you're only allowed to speak to the child by phone, by the internet, by communications that are distant. But here the messenger, he brings you a message. It's a process here that we are not yet see where it's going, because sometimes the mountain is in the way to see where it's going. We don't see yet where it's going. There's still obstacles going on, small problems going on. So we cannot see. This is literally a growing silence. The silence is growing because the mountain is quiet. It's possible that you are not allowed to talk to a child. If this is in business, maybe you have a silent business, but mostly if this relates literally to the child and to the divorce, it's possible that you are unable to talk to the child. If you're in a relationship, maybe there's a disagreement with your child, if it's already allowed and you're refusing to talk to each other. That is possible here also. But maybe the problem is not so big as it seems, and it will all come okay later on. But the mountain tells us it will take some time because the mountain is slow. So it might take some time before this whole operation, because there's some challenges here. If you have a child that studies, I want to say that also, maybe your child need to do a lot of efforts to study. He need to put a lot of efforts in the study. That is possible here also with this. The mountain isn't abroad. I already told this. It's possible that your child is observed, or you both are observed. I said that already earlier. This is coming back here. It's possible also that you're helping each other for getting somewhere. We cannot see the news here, difficult news, difficult challenges in the mountains. Here also, it's possible that you or your child are pushing boundaries for the communication. Like you try to get a connection, but it's very difficult. And it's, as we know, it's very difficult to push the mountain. So the only thing what we can do is go around the mountain. So maybe you need to use your witness here and go around the mountain for have a form of communication, if that is not possible, or if that is not allowed. So because we cannot force the mountain, we need to be smart for go around the mountain. So if there's a problem here with the communication, it says here that the only way is going around the mountain and use your witness for your smartness for going around the mountain. That is what it says here. Even then, it's possible that the communication is delayed, the communication is stuck, but maybe then it's possible to communicate. Then we have the second line here. We have the ring. This is a suspicious relationship. The fox is suspicious. one of both parties has a self-interest in itself. I already told you that if this is on a job, this is the contract, the public contract. It's good for a work if you're cautious, but if it's on the relationship, it's a little bit tricky. This person is no longer commitment because he's already in public. This person is no longer committed because he's already in public. There's a distrust. It's also possible there's a mutual distrust. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe you know about this other party. I'm just mentioning all the possibilities here. Then we have the ring and the garden. There's many social contacts here. If you have a job, if it's related to your job, maybe you have a lot of social contacts in the job. You work for the public, that is possible here also. Maybe you and the ex-partner have a common field of knowledge, that is possible here also. Then we go in the third line here, we see the key, the snake and the sit. Here one of both parties, because the key is freedom. So here you can say that one of both parties is really longing to his freedom. Maybe the freedom was blocked before, but one of both partners wants his freedom back. This person really desires freedom. He wants to get out ASAP, immediately, if possible. Maybe this is possible because the key is here. Maybe something suddenly is cut off. So it's possible that this goes suddenly. The possibility is there. But it's, of course, you have the knife in the hands. This is possible. It's also possible because of all the, if there's trouble going on and there's a relationship going on, for one of you both, that due to circumstances, the third partner breaks off. That is possible also. So if you're both involved in the relationship, maybe one of the partners, if you're both involved, that is one of the third partners is suddenly disappearing. He's no longer interested, or for some reason, he suddenly disappeared, or she. It's can both go both ways. That is possible here also. So this where we see the liberation here. This is also an eye opener, that your eyes are opened from things you didn't see. The knife can open things that are hidden. If you had, I'm going to mention this also, if you, one of you both, or the person here, had a weak sexual relationship, the relationship was not so good sexually, it's possible here, if you have, for instance, a one-night stand, that your eyes are opened in a way. That if the relationship is sexual, and let's assume you have a one-night stand, it's like you experience something you didn't experience before. If this is on the business, like something similar can happen, that your eyes are opened in the way of business. That is possible here open. You experience something and you have like a moment that you say, okay, now I see it. Now I see it, how everything is connected. This is possible here also. What is also possible here, that one of both parties forces the other to say yes. So like there's pressure and one of the both parties gives in. It's like coercing somebody to say yes. That is what we see here also. Because maybe the circumstances are in some moments heavy, maybe it's possible that you need a break. That because this can mean a break, and you take a bottle of wine and you say, I need a drink now. It's time for having a drink. So this is possible here also. Sometimes it happens. We really need a drink, or we need to have like a day out, and we take a day off. We ask we ask somebody to accompany us, maybe a friend, maybe an acquaintance, and you really need to go out for a day, you just take a day off because it's been all too much. That is possible here also with this combination. Here we see the child, the ring, and the sit. I already mentioned this here. It's possible that if you wait on an adoption, it's suddenly approved. That is possible if you're in an adoption, but you need to, as I told you earlier, because it works in an L, you need to see that you are covered all the way, that you cover your bases. So it's possible that you're checked out and suddenly it's approved. In a negative way, if you're not careful, it's suddenly no. So it probably depends on you. So this means you need to play the game smart for getting your approval. That is what it says here. It's probably in your own hands. This connection is developing. Also, if it's possible on another way here, if it's devolved on a relationship, that suddenly the child is with you or suddenly it's not anymore. But I already mentioned here with the key before, you need to be careful in the whole house situation. So just be careful with that one. These two cards, they point, you see the knife, you see the marriage, you see the divorce here yourself, there's an ending. If you have some kind of contract, it's possible also that the contract ends. In some cases also, what is possible here, but it's not said it's like that, but I'm going to mention it anyway, there's some violence in the relationship. It's possible, and maybe one person is very smart to cover up this violence. So that is possible here also. Yeah, this is literally that you take the wedding ring off. This here, you break your promise, you and you tie things up. You want to finish it. Things that are no longer good for you, you get rid of them. You make stocks. What is where I'm going, what I had, what can I take, things like that. You end with it. You will find a balance for yourself and you will make the decision here. I think this is about relationships mostly, but for the contracts I mentioned that earlier, it's good for a job, but you need to be careful. Then the key there, it says yes to the contract. Here it's again for a job. It might be positive. This means maybe that the person is committed to somebody else here, but I already mentioned that. Maybe it's somebody, but one of the two parties also has a friend or a communication here who they rely on. But I think this is a non-sexual relationship. It's like a friend you can rely on here that I see here. That is possible. Also, maybe somebody helps you there. A person, maybe it's difficult for you to decide certain things, and it's like you get some help here from a friend. That is possible here also. Somebody who helps you, somebody who repeatedly meets you for helping you, because maybe you don't know anymore, boundaries are crossed, and this person helps you for seeing maybe the things a little bit more clearer here. This also tells you if you're in a difficult situation, you need to say yes for letting you help. If you are in a difficult situation, you need to allow somebody to help you. Sometimes some things we cannot do alone. In case also of the contract, this is also that you are freed of your contract if you want to. You're freed of your contract. If something get lost in the marriage and you want it back, I'm just saying, like, let's assume that a piece of jewelry would be missing that belongs to you. It's possible because the ring returns. It's possible that that comes back to you. Maybe that is an issue during a separation and something disappeared, but this will come back to you. So this is literally a piece of jewelry or some part of the contract is coming back to you because the ring returns. The bridge is made so you can take it back. There's like a synchronicity here between the ending and things coming back to you. It's like it's happening all at the same time. Maybe also here you need some purification. Maybe the relationship was poisonous and it's like you need to purify yourself. Here we see the garden, and sometimes the garden can purify us. So maybe after all this is gone, it's like you want to balance yourself and you want to balance yourself, let's say like that. Maybe in some areas you've been over the top and you want to balance yourself again. It's like you want to purify yourself like that several times. Maybe you want it's like you want to clean yourself up like that. Maybe there's a lot happened before in this situation, and maybe even though this situation might be have severe before, maybe you don't expect me to say this, but maybe some bridges need to be kept because the ring is a bridge. So maybe now there is some finality, but a bridge will stay. Mostly if there's a child involved, a bridge stays. So maybe that is what I'm seeing here. Some points, some bridges will stay. A lot will be cut off, but some bridges will stay. Some contracts will be honored. It's possible also after this all, there are made clear arrangements and everybody knows exactly where they are standing. This is possible also. This is like acting on what you have promised or the other party has promised. So it means that the rules need to be followed. This is what it means also. But of course, the relationship is irreversibly changed here. So, Cancer, for the air group, this is now, it was a little bit a heavy reading, except if you're in search for a job, this is positive. If you're in the relationship, it's a little bit heavy. Even if you're in the job or you want the job, the possibility is there, but you need to make your bed to make sure that you have all the things at the right point, and then the contract will suddenly appear in front of your doorstep. Maybe you didn't expect it, but it will be there. So Cancer, for the month of August, for the air group, this is all. I hope you enjoyed my card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and see you maybe next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye for now.